ask the questions that nobody else will ask, as you do the things that everybody else is afraid to do, that's where you find success.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
I've been a follower of Tim Ferriss for many years now. In fact, honestly, his book, The 4-Hour Work Week, really got me started in the whole virtual assistant world. He has a challenge I want to share with you, and I want you to start utilizing this in your business. And more importantly, we're going to dig into the why of that. First of all, I want to tell you about why we are so efficient. At least one of the reasons in our office that we're so efficient is because, well, we use Spark. Folks, Spark will help you because it's technology. It's a one-punch button. You pick the data, it puts it in your report. SparkForAppraisers.com is where you go. SparkForAppraisers.com. All right. So Tim Ferriss, I don't know if you've heard of this. I don't know if you follow him. I follow him loosely. I think you can really get sucked into the whole, I'm going to call it cult world of Tim Ferriss. I don't mean that literally, but I mean, the guy is everywhere doing lots of things, right? And I read his recent book and it was fabulous. He talked to many successful people, and he's very into fitness, which I'm not. He's very into a lot of things, right, that are success generating. But I want to share with you one of the things that I learned from him, I think from his podcast. And honestly, I don't know whether he thought this up or he got this from somewhere else, but he's been promoting it. He's done it himself. He's asked some of his guests to do it. And I'll be honest with you, I have not done it yet. Okay, that full disclosure, I've not done it yet. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to commit to do it. And I will return and report. In fact, I'm a paperless office, but I do still carry sticky notes around. Okay, and I'm just going to put it down. I'm just writing it down. I haven't told you what it is yet, so I can't say out loud what I'm putting. Okay, so here's the deal. Tim Ferriss encourages many of his students, his clients, to do what he calls the 10% discount social experiment. Okay, the 10% coffee challenge is another way that he puts it. And it goes something like this, right? It goes something like this. He says, in fact, let me just play this for you. Hopefully this is a 50-second clip that I hope. Let me turn up the volume here so make sure you can hear. Okay, so this will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. I don't know who he's talking about here or talking to here. Okay, but this will give you an idea. Here we go.
A cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is, ask for 10% off. So like for the next 10 coffees that you get, each time, ask for a 10% discount. You can't say you're doing an experiment. You can't say that Tim Ferriss told you so. You just have to ask for 10% off. It doesn't matter if they say yes or not. And just sit there and wait for them to respond.
Did you do this, Tim?
Yeah.
What were the conversions?
It makes you more comfortable with discomfort. And you also realize the downside is so limited.
I respect the macro amazingness. No. What were the conversions?
Oh, the conversions are surprisingly high.
Well, yeah,
like 70%.
7 of the 10 people at a Starbucks or Pete's Coffee or some random place were like, okay, sir.
Yeah, or they're just like so stunned that they're like, wait, this is Starbucks. And I'm like, I know, I would really appreciate 10% off. And like half the time there's like, okay, guy, sure, yeah, I don't want to fight this fight right now. So okay, fine, 10% off, yeah.
I love it, folks. I love it. So here's what I love about this, right? It's not about the money. It's about the exercise of discomfort. Like it gets you over discomfort. It gets you over, and as he says, the downside is so little. What is the downside, folks? Well, there's 2, right? And really one is not even a downside. The first one you're going to say is, well, they could say no. Is that really a downside? It's not any worse off than you were before. That's not a downside. You're not out anything, right? If you get the 10%, you've gained something. If you don't get the 10%, financially, you're out nothing. You're going to pay the same thing that you would have paid anyway. Think through that for a second. Isn't that crazy? Now, the follow-up to that is, what is the downside? The downside is embarrassment. That's it. That's the only downside. The downside is embarrassment. And how embarrassing is it? Now, is it, as he says, uncomfortable? Absolutely. I mean, I want you to imagine you pull up to your local Starbucks, right? And you go to the little microphone and you order your triple cappuccino frou-frou drink with ice cream on top. And they say that'll be $7.36, sir. And you pull around to the window, and when they open the window, they say that'll be $7.36. And you say, "Can I get 10% off?" No reason. No coupon. No, hey, my buddy was here. Hey, I'm trying this experiment and I have to ask for this. None of that. Can I get 10% off? Pause. I should add uncomfortable pause, right? Can you imagine being in that situation? Put yourself in those shoes. That's hard. But here's the thing. They might say yes. And at the very worst, if they say no, you are a better person. Now, I know it sounds silly, but you are a better person for asking. It gets you over the discomfort. We feel social norms can't be broken. And as a consequence, we spend our lives in a box. I want to share what the 10% coffee challenge has to do with appraisal, and specifically your appraisal business, right after this sponsor. I want to share with you Spark for Appraisers, folks. So I'm going to open up a browser, Spark for FOR, appraisers.com, and I want you to just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Just scroll down, and on the left side, you're going to see a blue button. If they haven't changed it by the time you listen to this, Spark Coverage Areas, folks. I get a brief thing that says redirecting to Spark Coverage Area. And what you're going to get is a Spark Coverage Area section. And then you just drop down and you go to your form filler. Well, I happen to use total. So it's the bottom one. Click on there. I click on my state. Boom. And I know whether or not Spark is in your area. Folks, you got to start with that. If Spark is in your area, the question I have for you is, why aren't you using it? Folks, it fits every principle I've ever taught for the last 12 years as the appraiser coach. Utilizing technology for your benefit. Make the robot do it. Yeah, you're still in control, folks, but the day-to-day mundane data entry is done for you. It is crazy the time it will save you. Again, sparkforappraisers.com, sparkforappraisers.com. All right, folks. Welcome back. We're talking today. Well, we're talking about a very, very important topic, and that is the box. And what I mean by that is, folks, I'm telling you, again, I mentioned during the sponsorship, I've been doing this 12 years. And I'll tell you, if there's one thing that I've seen over and over and over again, it is that most people, not all, but most people, I've used the number 98%. I think I'm pretty close. It might be 97, might be 95, might be 99. It is not 100% of people stay in the box their whole life. They maybe fell into the appraisal world. Maybe they chose it, right? Some of us do. Right? Chose to be in the appraisal world, but you start doing things just like your mentor taught you, and you continue to do things like your mentor taught you, and you pass that on to your trainees, and they continue to pass that on to their trainees. And it's not just about appraisal, but it's about running a business or owning your job, as most of us do. Right? It's the 2% that understand that there is a box and they are not required to stay in it. I was talking to my family last night. I had my mom and dad over, and we had a birthday dinner, and we were playing pool and ping pong and air hockey downstairs, and just having a good time. Played cards, and then everybody had gone home except my son and my new daughter-in-law and my wife. So the four of us, probably another 2 hours, just sat and talked about everything, right? And we were talking about just different personalities and how, and I know we're talking about a dog here, right? I get it. But the conversation led to one thing after another, and we were talking about dogs, and I said, it's so interesting to me that at night, when it's time for my dog to go to bed, I walk down the stairs, and he walks down with me, and can't wait to get in this cage, his kennel, right? That's what, 2 feet wide by 3 feet? He can't wait to get in there and get locked in there. He feels comfortable in there. He lays down. I mean, I would go ballistic being in a cage. I think most people would, right? Again, we're talking dogs here. But isn't it interesting that that is a comfort thing to him? Now, I didn't make this analogy last night when we were talking, but today I'm thinking through this. I'm thinking, how many people are like that? Now, though it's not a physical cage, heaven forbid, right? Too much of that in the world going on. But how many of us have a mental cage that we can't wait to get back in because it's uncomfortable being outside that cage? It's uncomfortable to do things outside the box. Folks, I hope that you with me, and I wrote this down, the 10% coffee challenge, I'm going to put this in my car, and I'm going to put it on the dash, and I'm going to do it. For the next 10 times I order coffee, I'm going to ask for 10% off. And I'm just going to pause. I'm going to say, hey, can I get 10% off? And they might say, well, how come? I don't know, just because I want 10% off. Just see what I'm going to report back here, I promise. I can't wait. But the bigger principle here is, are you willing to get outside your box, your kennel? Are you willing to think outside the box? Are you willing to get outside your comfort level and become part of the discomfort crowd? Are you willing to put yourself out there? I promise you, folks, as you do things, as you ask the questions that nobody else will ask, as you do the things that everybody else is afraid to do, that's where you find success. Yes, even especially in an appraisal office. Thank you for joining me today, folks. Please join us over at the All-Star Team. We talk about these principles and more all the time on our community forum. Yes, it is a private forum where we can ask any question that you want. It is awesome. It is the All-Star Team. Find out more at my website, theappraisercoach.com.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.